What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react to some of the dumbest things that Americans have ever said in Norway. So today, I want to take a look at this Reddit discussion where somebody was asking about some of the stupidest things that my fellow Americans have actually said while visiting Norway. So, to be honest, as an American myself, I am aware that we have a negative reputation with some of this stuff, like being ignorant or even rude. So today, I thought it would be entertaining to take a look at this and I don't know, hear about some of the funny, crazy things that Norwegians have experienced with Americans in Norway. So let's take a look at this. Starting with this is what American tourists ask about in Norway. Okay, so Americans, tourists in Norway ask about what time do the fjords open? What? No! No! No, no, please. I knew this was gonna be like bad, but this is just. Do they drain the fjords in the winter? What? This is worse than I thought. This is like. These aren't children? These are like American adults? These aren't little kids asking this stuff? What time does the fjord open? The fjord is part of the earth. It's the fjord is just always there, right? Go to it. What do you mean? When is it open? Can't I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of like Norwegian zoning laws where you can only go in the fjord at certain times. I don't know. Man. I don't know. Is that a good excuse? Is that a I don't know why I feel a little like I have to defend the stupid American comments here, but this one, like, maybe they're asking when is the cruise, when, like, are there any rules about the fjord? But just from, like, just looking at the question, like, what time does the fjord open? That's like asking when does the mountain open? When does the lake open? Like, just, it's part of the planet. Just go. It's nature. Just go. Stop. What? I think this is a very American thing to say, actually, because here, there probably, if there were fjords here, there probably would be like boundaries and gates and ropes and regulations and stuff. If it were here in the U.S., I think that's where that one comes from. Um, do they drain the fjords in the winter? That's insanity. That's crazy. I can't believe an American said that. Do they drain the water from the fjords in the winter? Who? How? Where? Where would they put it? Why? So, literally, I don't. I can see why Norwegians have a whole discussion dedicated to this because it is oddly entertaining. When do they flick on the northern lights? What? Don't. What? Some of these are like, I get it, and then some of these are just like, but when do they turn on the? As if somebody has a light switch, and can turn on the northern lights. This, I don't know which one's worse, draining the fjords or turning on the northern lights. Do they think they're talking to like God? Do you drain the fjord and turn on the light? Like what? Huh? Oh my God, no wonder Americans have such a bad reputation. No wonder if we're saying stuff like this. I don't think most Americans are this dumb. This is extra dumb. Why don't you just suck up all the snow and remove it? What? We don't even do that. Like, it can snow in the United States, and we don't do that here. Eating fiskboller. Do you eat the whole fish or just the balls? God. Do fish have balls? Wait, eating whale steak. Are these whales farm grown? Oh, God. Some of this stuff is because it's like projection of American culture. Like, in America, if we could factory farm whales, we would. And a lot of like cattle and farm animals are, in really bad farming conditions and mass produced little chicks for chicken. And anyway, are these whales farm grown? Obviously, I'm sure we would if we could. What, like a farm in the ocean? What? In central Oslo, where are the fjords? Why is that dumb? Is that dumb because are there no fjords by Oslo? See, this one, like one or two of these, I kind of understand as an American. Like, when do the fjords open? I don't know if there's like a time you're not allowed on the fjord. Where are the fjords in Oslo? Because a lot of Americans probably think there are fjords everywhere in Norway, no matter where you go. I'm guessing they are not in central Oslo. Asking a Norwegian, do you actually live here? Huh? That is a weird question. Asking a local Norwegian, do you live here? That's like if someone came to the US and said, do you live here? It'd be like, yes. What? Why are Americans so weird about this? And the other thing is like the Americans who said all these stupid questions, they should be way more embarrassed to ask this stuff, you know? Like, the fact that Americans even say this is like, we should have a little more shame, a little more embarrassment. Like, this is to just say this stuff out loud, that's embarrassing. Asking a Norwegian, what do you do in the winter? I mean, for most Americans, like, we don't know what other people do for winter in other countries. That one I actually understand. Like, I know Norwegians like ski and like whatever. There's stuff that you can do in the winter. Um, but to be honest, for most Americans, we have no idea what people in other countries are doing at all times of the year. Like, that's just a general Americans don't know what people are doing outside of the US kind of question. On a boat crossing a fjord, how high are we above sea level? Why is that dumb? Oh, is a fjord? I guess a fjord always has to be below sea level. If the sea is channeling water into the fjords. So you have to be below sea level, right? Is that why that's dumb? You gotta love the Americans. Oh my god. That's funny. Like, it's funny because in the US we do not experience foreigners coming and saying dumb stuff. It just always seems to be Americans traveling to other countries saying dumb stuff. Here we go. My favorite. I swear this is true. An American asked if I could help him find the shops so he could buy some trolls. Okay. He's asking a random Norwegian to help him find a shop to buy trolls. I was like, sure, it's over there. And he stared at me straight in the eyes as if I was stupid and said, no, not the tourist stuff. I mean the shops Norwegians buy their trolls at. What? Like a real troll? This American thinks Norwegians have real trolls, like a pet troll. What? I mean, I would have thought this was like a little child. You're telling me this is a random American adult? Like, how? This has actually got me concerned. I didn't know there were Americans this dumb. I honestly thought he was screwing with me. But it turns out he thought we sold the trolls at the touristy souvenir shop and kept all the good trolls to ourselves. I'm still laughing. So, oh, okay. Good. Okay. He doesn't think that trolls are real. Okay. He thinks, okay, I couldn't even understand this American, what they were thinking. That Norwegians have special troll souvenirs that you hide from Americans. These are sold at the good stores, and it's very secret. And that's what he thought. That's what he wanted to know. Okay. Where did he hear that? What on earth? It's also kind of just sad because so many of these, like, for example, I'm hearing about a lot of this stuff for the first time. I understand, like, what makes sense and what is stupid. Like, that Norwegians have a secret troll store that you hide from us. Like, if you just think about it for a second, you'd think you would question that a little more before getting angry at a random Norwegian. But I just got back from a trip to Svalbard in Norway, and I winced whenever someone asked if my dad and I were American, because I was paranoid we were doing something stupid without realizing it. Oh no! See, Americans, we never have this problem. Nobody ever thinks we're from somewhere else. That'd be kind of cool. But Norwegians, if somebody calls you American, that's a big insult. You're actually worried. Oh my God. Uh-oh. It turns out people were just hearing us speak English to each other and would be curious. Yeah, I mean, that's a very American thing to do. Because in the United States, we only speak English. So if somebody speaks English, we assume they're American. That's how closed off we are from other languages and stuff. We had some really nice conversations with locals. I tried to learn some basic Norwegian. Okay, what else do we have? This is not about American tourists in particular. I got the impression that this happened with tourists from many nations. A friend worked at a stav church, those old wooden Norwegian churches, and there are do not smoke signs everywhere. Even so, the black color many places would have, some tourists would draw the wrong conclusion and ask, when did the church burn? So the stav churches in Norway are black? Huh. And people thought that they had been burned. Why are they black? They would be told the church had never been burnt and the wood tar had been added to protect it. And they'd say, of course, to protect against fire. Okay, this is just random tourists who... This isn't that bad, I think. The ones at the beginning were the worst. The stupidest. That's not so bad. That's like American tourist that doesn't understand Norwegian stav churches. I think that's okay. Anything else? In Edinburgh, I was stopped on the street and asked what time they fire the 1 o'clock gun. Is there a 1 o'clock gun? American here, we're not all this dumb. That's what I'm here saying. That's what I'm here to say. My wife works with a lot of tourists and told me a few tourists, Americans, pointed to some waterfalls and asked where the water came from, they didn't seem to understand the concept of lakes or mountains. Seems to be a lot of confusion. Like Americans are having a lot of confusion around the Norwegian nature, like the northern lights, the fjords, the water. And maybe that's because we don't have a lot of that stuff here in the US, but we're supposed to learn about a lot of this in school. And just common sense, you know? My favorite is An American at Midnight. Where can we see the midnight sun? Norwegian points up at the sun. American. But that's the same sun that's out during the day. What's so special about that? This American thinks that the midnight sun is a second sun rotating around the earth. Okay, this some of these are so bad and so dumb. It almost like fries my brain to try to think about. This person lived their whole life as an adult and got all the way to Norway somehow and thought there were two suns. It's not good. People in Tromso asking where the ice hotel is in July. So the ice hotel can't exist in July. Yeah, just common sense stuff. Uh, a lot of this, sadly, is just common sense that Americans don't seem to have. Do you take American dollars? No, there were. Oh, wow, that's rude. Really, like if you're going to another country, it's up to you to understand the culture, the currency, the language. Um, this this whole conversation really does make me think Americans kind of deserve our reputation as being bad tourists. Um, Hopefully we spend money and bring some kind of positivity, but now I kind of understand why we have that reputation. Because if you hear any of this stuff from Americans, like I didn't know. I didn't know that some of my fellow Americans were representing us and making us look this stupid. This is bad. This is very bad. But it was also strangely entertaining, and I'm glad to kind of set the record straight on some of this. We're not all this dumb, but this was also kind of funny. Oh my god. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like, or leave a comment with your thoughts on some of these dumb things that Americans have actually said in Norway about Norway. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Norwegian things that I've never seen before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.